Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agent arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers.
I wasn't going to go live today.
No, you were not.
Dude, we decided like 2 minutes ago. Like literally before I hit the live button. I just saw a tweet and I'm fucking livid, dude.
Clown world. Fucking
This
clown world.
this is like the most retarded shit I've ever seen in my life. So today, first off, how you doing, Mary?
I'm doing great. I'm matching you on the livid shit, so I think we should just jump right into it.
Kim says that we're fired for not telling her beforehand. I'm sorry, Kim.
Well, Kim has a quado growing out of her, so, you know.
A what?
A quato? Remember like Total Recall? Those like little things in the stomach that communicate? Yeah.
That was such a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to get into this because I'm fucking fired up, dude. So I find out a couple things based on this tweet. I'm gonna full screen it. Let me increase it in size for those of you that are on your phones, and hopefully you're just as pissed off as I am. I can't even pronounce this judge's name.
Faruqi.
Faruqi. Do you know what? Obviously, you had Tim Kelly. Did you have Tim Kelly?
No, I had Frederick. I had Lord Farquaad.
Okay, so this is a magistrate judge. Well, it's a DC judge, but he's operating. I keep saying she because I keep associating Faruqi with a woman's name,
Like an Indian chick with the red dot and the little dress. Yeah, me too.
So I apologize for misgendering. I don't apologize for shit because at the end of this, you're going to see what an apology is. So let's read this through. It's a thread. So Kyle Cheney's a reporter for Politico. For the most part, he's not a bad dude. Sometimes his reporting sucks. Sometimes it's good. But here he's just going off of what the judge is saying. I believe he's in the courtroom. He's a court reporter for Politico. Happening now. Magistrate Judge Faruqi says he's concerned about the way the D.C. jail has treated Cole Allen so far, putting him in an extremely restrictive suicide watch protocol, despite medical assessment saying it was not necessary. Let's start with this. Let's disseminate this tweet for a second. There's a series of like 7 tweets. So he's concerned about how people are treated in DC jail, and to give a little bit of credit to Faruqi, in a couple of cases, he like gave medicine to somebody that was in extremely restrictive protocol. Probably not suicide watch, but it's the same fucking thing. You're in the same place, in the same cell. You're just in a different suit, okay? And you eat, and I think when you're in the shoe in DC, you eat off of like those flexi spoon thingies that are fucking going on. So he had like this is an extreme circumstance because he didn't do this. He didn't just hold a hearing for a J6er. He held it for this. But it gets even crazier what he says about this, right? And let's go back. This is so wild. I cannot. Let's go to the second tweet. Tony Towns, which is a general counsel for the DC jail, says Allen's placement has been based on an ongoing psychiatric evaluation. Faruqi now comparing Allen to January 6 defendants, saying they were treated better than Allen was.
He's been there for what, 3 days?
Yes. Treated better than what January 6ers were treated as. That's impossible.
I mean, you would need to be there for a lot longer to even have the time frame comparable to what we went through.
It's not even time frame. It's the conditions that we lived in. Yeah. The reason why he's probably living better than we are is because we put that paperwork in and we put the work in while we were in there. You know? Quaglin.
Yeah.
Is one person that put a giant stack of fucking paper
everywhere he
every
goes.
Day.
Everywhere he goes.
So regardless of the fact, he is living better, 10 times better than we were in the as J6ers living in the DC jail. I went through it. I know exactly where he is, and I know exactly what the conditions are, and they are better than the last time. Then the judge goes on to say, pardons may erase convictions, but they do not erase history, the magistrate judge says. I've never had a January 6th defendant put in 5-point restraints or in a safe cell.
Bullshit and bullshit.
Bullshit and bullshit.
They dressed Joe Biggs up like Hannibal fucking Lecter and put him on a damn dolly and wheeled him into a plane.
And then in DC jail, put in a safe cell. Yeah. I've been in multiple safe cells in DC.
Alexandria.
You know what I did? I shut the fuck up and I wrote it out.
3 months I did in Alexandria in a fucking solitary confinement.
So her saying that a group of people that were there peacefully on January 6th, because it doesn't matter if you did whatever you did on January 6th, if you walked in and outside of the Capitol, you're in a fucking safe cell, right? And you're segregated from everybody, treated like an actual terrorist. And this guy, I had this argument yesterday because I called him an assassin. And one of these big leftist account were like, no, that's improper. You can't call him an assassin. Yes, you could.
A failed assassin.
You could exactly. You can add the moniker of failed or attempted assassin. But when you go do that, you are an assassin, even if you're good or bad at what you do. He was horrible at what he did. You know? He shot a Secret Service agent, and he said it in his manifesto that his goal was to assassinate Trump and his administration.
Cabinet members.
Minus Kash Patel, which was weird.
Yeah.
And that he would shoot anybody that would stop him on the way over there. That's a fucking assassin.
Yeah.
Right? He's trying to commit mass murder. Nobody in J6, even the worst of the J6ers, and I'm using air quotes, weren't trying to mass murder people. Okay? They weren't trying to mass murder people. So let's go on. Faruqi says, hold on. Do I have this on the screen? No, I don't. Faruqi says Allen is, quote, being treated differently than anyone I've ever observed. He says terrorists, gang members, and others charged with political violence haven't been treated as restrictively as Allen. You mean the people that were sitting in your fucking courtroom for J6 were treated better? That's impossible.
Yeah. It's very rich.
Towns, which is the counsel for DC jail, says limits are all being decided by medical staff. But Faruqi continues with his defense of Can you read that? Give me 1 second.
Faruqi, hammering on the J6 comparison, says he spent 4 years watching what say seems to be analogous conduct. People allegedly trying to harm elected officials based on their political beliefs. The way that things are playing out for Allen is very different. How so? How fucking so?
Dude, like, this is why I went live, right? Because it gets worse. It gets worse than this.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this again.
This isn't even the grand finale.
Faruqi hammering on the J6 comparison. So he keeps on with the J6 comparison because he wants to compare a mass fucking murderer to J6ers.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't charged with a crime of violence. I was treated 10 times worse than this fucking retard is.
Well, hey, we don't have to go too deep into that.
Says he spent 4 years watching what I would say seems to be analogous conduct. Analogous conduct. He compares trespassing to mass murder. Analogous conduct. People allegedly trying to harm elected officials based on their political beliefs. The way that things are playing out for Allen is vastly different. Yeah, it is vastly different. It's a lot better for him.
What perspective could this judge possibly have other than Allen showing up in his courtroom and what he's calling 5-point chain restraints? Okay, which is very typical, and the marshals make that decision, if I'm not mistaken, because they're the ones that are going to transfer.
Dude, I was strapped to a chair.
Black box everywhere you went.
Black box, strapped to a chair. Okay, he doesn't get that treatment. They treated me worse than the Lockerbie bomber, the shoe bomber. They treated me worse than the Lockerbie bomber. So already fucking just saying that he's getting worse. If somebody is trying to mass murder elected officials at the highest chain of the United States government,
and he's downplaying,
you're going to the shoe.
Yeah.
You're going to the shoe.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't DC's way they do things anyway is when you get there, you go to the shoe anyway for like 10 days?
That was only during COVID.
Okay.
That was like the processing unit. They
Quarantine.
maintained the quarantine unit, I think now for about 5 days you got to be there. Mm-hmm. But regardless of the fact, I was there. Look, I was there. I was there for misdemeanor, the flag burning, the BLM flag burning. Mm-hmm. I was in the shoe for 5 months.
Damn.
I was in the shoe for 5 months for a misdemeanor flag burning. You're going to tell me that burning a flag, who just came in with the shitty mic? Oh, Patty did. All right, you're in. Patty, for some reason, I'm getting like a staticky. I don't know if you have your mic connected properly.
I hear music for some reason repeating.
You have earphones?
What the fuck is that?
You have one of your tabs are open because my music is closed.
I am going to kick myself out.
All right, come back. So I was in there for misdemeanor flag burning, and I was treated worse than Mr. fucking Cole here.
But again, I ask, what context could this magistrate judge actually have? What has he been privy to witness as far as Alan Cole's treatment goes? The answer is none. He's making this assertion of him one time showing up in his courtroom. So he's clearly trying to push a fucking agenda here, a narrative war. And that's exactly what he's doing, because he has no look into what life's been like for Alan Cole over the last several days of him being in DC's custody. He doesn't know. This is
just a way to gain sympathy, which I've seen.
Yeah.
Right in the post that I said yesterday about the assassin, right? People are like, oh, you should have gotten a lot worse than he did. You should still be in prison. Like, those people, I already know that they're fucking shit-lib leftists, right? And I want them in prison too, right? But to say, okay,
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Okay, do you hear it? Because I don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Close all your tabs. I just hear, okay, there he goes. But one thing is, oh, you're a shit lib. Two, you're a shit lib, and you're a federal judge, because it gets worse than this.
Yeah, not the grand finale.
Right? Because this isn't what even pissed me off. I'm like, I expect DC judges to do this. The next tweet pissed me the fuck off.
This is where,
and that's not the end. So let's move on.
I don't think this. Yeah.
Let's move on. Prosecutor Jocelyn Ballantyne, surprised that she is taking this case, says FBI had concerns about suicide at outset, in part because he initially told agents he did not expect to survive the attempted assassination of the president. Faruqi says his interpretation is that Allen expected to be shot, not to take his own life. If you're running, check this out. This is the definition of suicide. He said to the FBI he did not expect to survive the attempted assassination, meaning
you're deliberately putting yourself
in a situation, right, where you're going to be shot by police. You're like, I'm going to die doing this.
Yeah.
That is the very definition of suicide.
Yeah.
Right?
Hence suicide mission.
Yes. Faruqi is like, oh, well, running suicide by cop is different than actual suicide.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that there is not a fucking question, at least if you're, even if you're a fucking shitlib federal judge like Faruqi, you're going to tell me that there isn't even a fucking question mark on, because that's how Suicide Watch works. If somebody says, hey, my cellie is suicidal, they're putting you on Suicide Watch.
Yeah.
That's the policy of the BOP. That's just like a safety thing. Right? If me and you are cellies and I go to the CO quietly and I'm like, hey, Barry's suicidal. Like, they're taking you out and they're putting you in a suicide cell.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah. They don't mess around with that.
Yeah, there's no question there. And even if there's a question, there's enough to put him, like, he should be there anyways. Right? Because this is on another level. This isn't equal, like this judge says, to the conduct of January 6ers. This guy was ready to die. This guy was ready to die to take out his political opponents.
Is it really any different than we saw with the J6 cases, just in reverse? They cherry-picked information, twisted meanings around. They threw the Enron charge at us, the 1512. The Supreme Court had to strike that
They
down.
use a white-collar crime against us.
They made the process up as they went along. Why would this be any different except for the fact that their hero now is in the courtroom?
All right, but wait. But there's a very, very fucking important portion here. Jocelyn Ballantyne. I know I said this in the article that I wrote. We're suing her.
Yeah.
For her conduct against January 6ers. We have a sworn affidavit from Jeremy Bertino, which took the stand. There was a star witness that Jocelyn Ballantyne not only coached this guy into saying lies, things that she knew was a lie, she gave him false information in order for him to state false testimony. She was lying to him so he could lie on the stand, right? So not only was she coaching him, but when she wasn't puppeteering him exactly how she wanted to, she fed him a lie. And she's like, oh, Enrique Tarrio was the one that, Pat, are you good? Nope, he's offline. That's witness tampering. Yes, Reno says it the best here. That is witness tampering. That is the very definition. And we charged her with that. We charged her. So we're literally suing this woman. This woman should have been fired on day one. She's also part of the Brian Cole case. And that guy's innocent.
Yeah.
That guy's innocent.
There's starting to be a pattern here that you can't deny.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI agents in charge are part of the Proud Boy case. And what does that tell you? Because you're supposed to, in order for a republic, right, a constitutional republic to operate, it depends on Americans trust in their institutions, that their institutions are going to do the right thing. How could I, or anybody for that matter, what they witnessed for 4 years, have any trust? There's at least put a question mark on it, right? Because that's what you're trying to do as the DOJ, right? Is try to establish that trust. And how could I trust this case or the Brian Cole case? They both named Cole for some reason. Yeah.
It's worse.
What
now.
is that shit?
I don't know. I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah, I'm hearing music. There is nothing on my computer open except for this.
Can you guys in the comments, can you hear any music? Because me and Barry don't.
Yeah, I'm hearing loud fucking techno music in my ear.
That might be a problem with. You're using Chrome as a browser?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's never happened before. It's fucking obnoxious.
Just
Can you
log
hear
in.
music?
No, I don't hear music. No, and everybody's saying no in the comments.
I would try and tolerate it, but I don't think I can. Like this shit, it's like listening to a
No, wait,
jackhammer.
your mic has like some type of feedback. Maybe try changing your audio settings. I'm gonna put you backstage. Just give me. Well, you can let yourself in when you're ready, but I'm gonna mute. So we're suing this woman, and for like I can't have, and I don't think anybody could have confidence in this institution. In the Brian Cole case, in this case, is she actually fighting these things? Is she fighting this, or is she trying to get this guy out of fucking? Because that's what it seems. In the next couple tweets, you're going to see what it starts, what it's starting to look like, right? I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up on screen. Scroll. This is the tweet that pissed me off the most. Faruqi apologizes to Allen. He says it's the court's job when recommending detention to ensure it's done in a responsible and safe way, and that he doesn't think this is what happened here. But let's start in the beginning. Faruqi apologizes to a attempted mass murderer.
Yeah.
She says I keep saying she. He says sorry to this person, to this animal. They should have killed him like a dog, so we wouldn't even have to listen to this.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have been a trial. They should have popped his ass the moment he pulled that firearm out, and it would have saved. I don't know the status on the Secret Service agent. I think it hit him in the vest.
It did, yeah. Hit him in the vest.
It would have saved so much time. The next set of tweets, I guess, came in. Let me refresh this really quick, just in case other tweets came in. Faruqi apologizes. Let's linger on that for a second. He apologized. A federal judge in D.C. apologizes to a mass murderer because he was put in the shoe, because he was on suicide watch, because he was on a suicide mission.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, but it is. It's DC.
Dude, I don't know how many judges there are in the DC circuit. I think there's like 12 or 15. Like, they should all be impeached, or they should all be transferred out of there.
Yeah.
At the very least. I mean, who makes that decision? Is it the president? Is it the DOJ? Who makes that decision on the transfers of judges? Because I know it's not Congress. They could make the decision, but there's another body that could swap them out. Put them in fucking Alaska. Put them in Anchorage. Put them in the Canary Islands. Move them all the fuck way to the tropics.
They're just going to ruin wherever you put them, but, so make sure it's far away.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, Alaska, but that's where we got to take them. Fucking, what's the state with one rep? Is it Montana?
I think so.
Yeah, send them there. Send them there. The least populous state in the country, just fucking send them there.
When we say that the J6ers never had a fair shot at a trial, this is exactly the type of shit that we're talking about. This is what we were up against. A judge that is going to passively deny reality and apologize to somebody like this because clearly he does not like who this person was targeting. There's no other justification for it. And then to sit there and compare it to January 6th as if somehow we got treated better out of all the years we went through shit. And this isn't just delusion. This is malice.
This is collusion.
Yeah.
A federal judge is colluding with a mass murderer. Right? And it's starting to sound like this apology. I've seen this before. It was like, oh, these conditions are horrible. Let's let him out on bail.
Yeah.
Let's let him out on bail. Oh, and you think, oh, that's crazy. He would never do that. Of course he would. He's telling you right here. He's apologizing to this guy. He says that misdemeanors that were treated worse than this guy were analogous to mass murder.
Unbelievable.
Okay, let me read the other fucking tweets that just came up under this. A magistrate judge, which is Faruqi, said today that he was alarmed by Cole Allen's harsh treatment by the D.C. jail and said it appeared far harsher than what January 6 defendants, also accused of politically motivated violence that threatened officials, once faced. But even Kyle, right here, like Kyle's spinning. I mean, obviously he's saying what the judge is saying. He has his spin on it. But even if let's give Kyle the benefit of the doubt, also accused of politically motivated violence that threatened officials. Well, this guy didn't threaten officials. He went to go kill them.
Yeah, he went to
and he shot somebody in his attempt to do so, meaning like get him close enough, he would have banged them out one by one. First guy he saw, within a quarter second of breaking through those doors, shoots a Secret Service member that was in his way.
I mean, this is the same party that said January 6th was worse than 9/11 and Pearl Harbor combined. They tell themselves that they believe this shit.
I can't. I'm so fucking pissed at this thing. Let me just share this screen instead. My full screen. Here I am. It's a picture of this guy in the courtroom. It kind of looks right here on the right, on the left. That looks like
Todd Blanche.
It
almost looks like you with hair in the jumpsuit.
But you know what's funny? You see who this blonde person in the middle is? That's Jocelyn Ballantyne. I could tell because the ramen noodle hair. She has the same hair as Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Chicken flavor.
Yeah. Permanent severe lockdown. Why do I have this Google ad like right in the middle of where I'm supposed to be reading? Let me close this. Close this out. And I can't close this. It's like just right in the way. The January 6th defendants were all moved to CTF, Faruqi says. Pardons may erase convictions, but they do not erase history. He's being treated differently than anyone I observed. Faruqi emphasized that despite grave concerns against Allen, the court and jail are still supposed to presume his innocence, particularly because he has no criminal history. It doesn't matter, but that's not why they put him in the shoe. Put him in the shoe because he went to go kill himself. Therefore, he's on suicide watch. He apologized to Allen, saying it was partly the court's role to ensure that someone detained while awaiting trial was subjected to fair and dignified conditions. We never went through dignified conditions.
Yeah, never once.
That's why we're suing. And we're about to sue the BOP. Faruqi ordered D.C. jail officials to update him by Tuesday morning on when and whether Allen would be moved into less restrictive conditions. Though it houses federal inmates, here's another thing. The judge shouldn't have any fucking say, like they did with us. The judge shouldn't have any say in how the BOP operates or the D.C. jail operates.
Right.
Like they have to operate how they are supposed to.
Congress is technically
Now,
the sheriff.
listen, I want people to be treated fairly, right, in prison. But don't give me that double standard bullshit and tell me, oh, they were January 6th were treated awesome compared to this guy.
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You already start off with a fucking lie. Though it houses federal inmates, the D.C. jail is run by local officials who make determinations about the housing status of criminal defendants detained pre-trial and those serving sentences. Tony Towns, the general counsel for the D.C. Department of Corrections, said decisions about Allen's housing were made with an eye towards his safety, not to be punitive. Tried to kill a whole bunch of fucking people. Faruqi's comparison to January 6 defendants dredges up fraught aspect of the 4-year prosecution of people charged and convicted of breaching the Capitol that day. The nationwide manhunt, right? Manhunt, thankfully he used that word, began during the height of the COVID era with severe housing restriction for all inmates in D.C. jail. That's bullshit. January 6 defendants routinely lamented their conditions in jail, noting that they were subjected to similar severe lockdowns conditions, limit on their access to lawyers, challenges in review of evidence of their criminal cases, and concerns about access to Medicare. This is what I'm talking about right here. Their complaints, bolstered by a large network of supporters, ushered in, meaning we did it, substantial changes to jail operations, meaning he is in better conditions now than we were before.
Yep.
Inmates were given freer access to evidence on jail-issued tablets. We did that, right? They didn't have that before. Inmates were given freer access to evidence on jail-issued tablets, and some were accommodated for gluten-free or vegan dietary needs.
Thank Quaglin for that.
One January 6 defendant's complaint about unmet medical needs prompted a judge to investigate and ultimately hold the jail in contempt of court, forcing changes. So those changes were already fucking made.
Yeah.
And substandard conditions force some inmates to be temporarily relocated to facilities in neighboring states. That's when they moved everybody to
Northern Neck and Lewisburg, and yeah.
Faruqi, however, said Allen appeared to be facing restrictions that no January 6th defendant ever did. Bullshit. He can be both kept safe and treated with dignity. Right now, it's not working. I think it's legally deficient, and ultimately, if the DC can't do it, I'll speak to the U.S. Attorney's Office. I know they have other facilities they can contact with.
He'll go to Northern Neck.
If you all cannot handle it, we're going to have to reassess that with the marshals and the Department of Justice. This guy fucking has no English. If we can get someone vegan food, we can get you a Bible. Magistrate judge added, he's preaching the good word now in prison. Prosecutors said little during the hearing except to note that Allen had informed FBI agents the night of the alleged assassination attempt that he hadn't expected to survive. That's a suicide mission. A detail meaning if you go through with it, you're going to die. And he went through with it. So he's expecting to die. That's suicide. That's actually murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Right? Which is 10 times worse. But Faruqi underscored that the medical professional disagreed and said he interpreted Allen's purported remark to be an indication he expected to get shot, not that he was seeking to end his life. Towns noted the FBI placed 2 agents outside Cole's room during his first 2 days of detention, a decision he described as unprecedented and reflective of the administration's heightened concerns about his case. Faruqi said his overarching worry is that Allen, he's so worried about him, is that Allen's case could be a symptom of a much larger problem within the jail. What happens, he wondered, with hundreds or thousands of low-profile cases? We were concerned about those low-profile cases, so much so that we helped out a lot of people that weren't J6ers fill out forms, help their stories get fucking told.
I'll never forget after my sentencing, my fiance, my mother, and a good friend of mine came to D.C. and were able to visit with me inside D.C. jail. And at one point, they were walking past the window, a group of D.C. locals, black dudes, going to wherever they were going. And they saw that the J6ers were in the visitation room. They were all pounding on the glass and giving thumbs up because they were cuffed in the front. Yeah. Saluting us because of the changes that we made there. And many inmates had said that to me because I hadn't been there yet at that point. But when I would go to trial, or when I go to court in the DC holding facility, and I was still in Northern Neck, all the DC inmates would talk about is how the J6ers had brought change to that shit. So, it's a known fact, and that, you don't even have to take our word for it. There was so many people, Tim Hale, a lot of people, Shane Jenkins, even Jake Lang to some extent had, submitted grievances, stuck to them, and got shit done around there. Chris Quaglin, another one. So
somebody wrote in the comments, they're going to Epstein him.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to get him not to kill himself. I don't think that Epstein killed himself, but regardless of the fact. This is wild, man. Let me take a look at the comments. So Reno says, "Oh, hey, okay, I could hear you well." Patty, you there?
Yeah, it's fixed.
All right.
Kim actually had the solution in the comments, but I didn't see the comments because I was trying to fix the settings.
What was it?
Stupid music tab. Just for whatever reason was playing some bullshit. I don't know why. It's like stock music and stuff, but I was the only one who could hear it. I swear there was music. There was fucking music. Some people think I've lost my fucking mind. I may have, but I wasn't hearing things. I'm just saying.
So did you hear me? Did you hear us rant right now?
Yeah. No, look, man, I
think?
can't disagree with anything you said, though. I mean, this is something we've always agreed on, the mistreatment that you guys dealt with in prison, which is not something I can even understand because I didn't go through it, but I can empathize. I can hear what you're saying. And this is bullshit, the idea that, I have nothing. I agree with everything you said, basically. Yeah. I got nothing.
Look, do you remember, Enrique, when we were in prison and it was Epic Times was the first one to report on it when Matthew Graves, the prosecutor that went for blood for all of us, the one that sentenced you to 22 fucking years, the one that wanted to appeal the sentence because he didn't think it was strict enough.
Yes, people don't remember that.
Yeah, that fucking guy.
I didn't get enough time, so the DOJ was like, no, they got too little bit of time.
This was Matthew Graves.
I always forget to say that.
Matthew Graves led that charge all the while we were in prison. A pro-Palestinian protester by the name of Ruben Arthur Camacho punches a female Capitol Police officer in the face. Then when she gets up, he throws her back to the ground. This is all on camera. Matthew Graves sentences him to 48 hours community service.
Wow.
And you challenge me on that. You could look it up. It's unfucking real reading that story in prison, getting 5 years when I went to trial after Matthew Graves wanted me to sign a plea for 15 fucking years. And argued for 9.5 at my sentencing.
Faruqi, here's a crazy part about this Faruqi character.
You got a picture of him?
Let me see.
I want to know if he does look like.
Well, while I'm looking for that, so Patty, but do you? I'm. Look, nobody here is advocating for horrible conditions for anybody.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
The guy has a right to,
Fair trial, access to a lawyer.
He's innocent until proven guilty. Obviously, in the case of the massive amount of evidence, in this case, he's guilty of it, in my opinion. In the court of law, we still have to go through that. But he was suicidal. That is the definition of suicide.
Yeah,
murder-suicide on top of everything. So he's supposed to.
I
be
guess
in the
you
shoe.
could make an argument. I'm not making this argument, but I guess what they would say is that at the time, he was okay going out getting shot by the Secret Service or police or whatever, but he's not going to actually off himself. Because a lot of people who do commit suicide by cop do it because they don't, I don't want to say have the balls, but they don't want to kill themselves. They would rather somebody else do it to them, right? So maybe there could be an argument made. I'm not saying I buy that completely or really at all, but that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, he's not suicidal now. There's not, he doesn't have the opportunity to have somebody else kill him. It's a weak argument, but that's what they'll say.
This guy looks.
I mean, I get the logic. That is where they're coming from, of course.
Right.
But it seems to me that they have to cherry pick and spin shit to get there. Like it's not even.
Right. Yeah. No, like I said, I don't buy it. But
this guy looks.
That's what they'll do.
This guy looks exactly what you'd expect him to look like.
I saw.
Look at his ruling, and then look at him.
He looks like every single Marxist professor at Harvard.
That tie in itself is a crime.
Like any professors at Harvard.
That tie in itself is a crime.
Wow.
He should be impeached. Just forget about what he just did. He should be impeached for wearing that tie.
Roger Stone would light him a new
Tucker
one.
did it for 20 years, man.
No. You don't pinstripe with a fucking bow tie.
Oh, okay. Now,
And that's a heavy. And look at the angle of the pinstripe. It's not even down. It's pointing outward, and it's not because his jacket is open.
That's not a Brooks Brothers.
It's not a Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, even look at the collar.
Here. Oh, actually,
You're
we
talking
have.
shit about fashion.
Actually, we
You
have.
wear the same clothes every day.
I'm very fashionable.
I have
Today,
an entire
I got
closet full of suits, dress shirts, and
No.
ties.
Yeah,
Like
I
an
wasn't
entire
talking
closet.
to you. I wasn't talking to you, Barry. It's well documented that you've got. I don't know what kind of fashion sense, but it's definitely
I
a
hope
sense.
he's not going to say
Fair enough.
shit.
Fair enough.
I got an entire suit closet.
I got half a suit closet.
And right now,
I've seen you wear like two suits.
It's May the 4th,
And they were in
which
court.
is hilarious because I just remembered something about May the 4th. Today,
May it be with you.
today
It was Hitler's a resurrection.
Today is exactly 3 years since we were convicted. We were convicted on May 4th. I remember because I was like, oh, today's
Yeah, because I was
May the 4th be with you. We're going to get found innocent. And we got found guilty. So
Just saw
happy
that coming.
anniversary to the Seditious Five. Reno with some exclusive reporting from behind the scenes. Actually, the Blaze put out this message that they're looking for investigative reporters. And I said that there's two awesome investigative reporters, Joe Hanneman and Steve Baker.
Yes.
They should hire them. I don't remember what outlet fired them.
Blaze.
Is it the Blaze?
Blaze fired. Yeah, he
Was
fired Baker. He was the Blaze reporter.
I mean, yeah. So maybe the Blaze should hire, but maybe the Blaze should hire Reno after this comment. Jake Land submitted a grievance that there wasn't any 16-year-old girls in burqa bikinis. That's
I would like to know what
The girls
response
part
was.
optional.
I want to know was there a response to the grievance, and did they take it as high as regional?
Listen, with the seriousness of DC, yeah, they probably bring him a fucking 16-year-old burqa bikini girl.
Shit. Yeah, covered in Suboxone if you ask for it.
Whatever occupies him and shuts him the fuck up for a few minutes, I'm for.
You could
Kim
literally.
Coulter is concerned about your health.
I know. Well, you know
Patty,
what? 'Cause
you
she
look like
knows
a
I almost
sickly
fucking
man
died 2 weeks
in
ago.
his teenage son's
I'm-
wardrobe.
I'm on the mend, man. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not sick anymore. Thank God.
In DC jail, if you actually go to the medical department and say you struggle with addiction, they'll immediately give you more Suboxone to intoxicate a fucking 900-pound sow, right? They won't even check. And let me give you a for instance. I'm not going to throw their name out there, but we had a J6er that was in prison for about a year and a half at this point, right? And he gets to DC for the first time and tells him, hey, I used to struggle with addiction. I'd like some Suboxone. They just give it to him. And then for 3 days, he's puking and vomiting everywhere because they gave him so much and made him not ever want it again. But nonetheless, they just give it to him. I mean, the guy's been locked down for a year and a half. Clearly, he's not getting heroin, and yeah, man, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. But he's been treated better than
J6. Yeah, again, I don't understand how this judge has a window of context to look into to say this is what this guy's being treated with. All he knows is when he sees him show up to court with the marshals in the jumpsuit, chains and all, which is standard protocol for any fucking inmate this magistrate judge sees. This is not a new vision for him. Yeah. So what is he chimping out about? What could he possibly know? Did the guy show up with bruises and cuts and scrapes? I mean, what gives this? I mean,
that would have if there was something beyond, that would have came up in court as a defense attorney. And I saw somebody shitting on his defense attorney, and I'm like, you can't do that. No, I'm like, you can't do that. Like John Adams would be rolling in his grave, like, he. At that time, what the Redcoats did was a lot worse.
Someone just sent me this article that we're reading about. Like, what the fuck? They're not even a J6er. They're just a friend of mine. It's little Zoe's dad.
Oh, okay.
Little jiu-jitsu girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's unbelievable.
Look, again, and I guess I'll close with this. This is really the only story. I don't think there's any other fucking stories right now, but I'll close with this. Look, everybody should be treated. I said this when we're in front of Alligator Alcatraz. Remember?
Yeah.
Like somebody's screaming at me or whatever, and I'm like, well, yeah, they should be treated humanely.
And we know that they were getting treated better than us in Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, you're definitely getting treated better than J6ers. But I'm like, but they should be treated. Listen, you should be in a jail, right? You should get out of your cell, You should be getting good meals. There should be air conditioning and heating.
But when it comes to pedophiles, just let the inmates police.
Well,
let the inmates deal with
that. Yeah,
the
pedophiles, I don't care.
Yeah,
you get burned in
the wood chipper, dog.
So that could be better in this system. I've said this story before. I'll say it again. I was in Alexandria prison in the jail. And I was locked down 7 days a week. There was no 1 hour out or anything. And I would get the Wall Street Journal. And I got the Wall Street Journal one day, and their journalist, the Wall Street Journal journalist, his name was Evan. He was locked up by the Russians. You remember that story, Patty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Evan was locked in there, and his lawyer over there was contacting the Wall Street Journal, and he was describing, the cell that Evan was in. And Evan, and what they did is they recreated it in a drawing. And I'm sitting there in this cell, and it's a concrete like bed. You don't even have like the metal.
Yeah.
It's like the concrete and then the little yoga mat.
Yeah.
And everything's concrete. There's nothing in this cell. The cell that they painted was carpeted. It had a refrigerator. It had a TV. I had a phone in the cell. And the bed was a mattress, like an actual box, like the spring mattress.
Yeah.
With a pillow. I didn't even have a pillow. Remember, they don't give you pillows. For some reason, they don't give you pillows.
Yeah,
I never understood that.
Terrible.
And I'm sitting there, and they're
choke on one.
They're saying all how hard this guy has it. And look, I'm sure, he's in Russia. He's in the foreign. You're locked up abroad. We've seen that show. Must be horrible. But like, the funny part is I'm sitting in this fucking cell that I haven't left in weeks, right? And I get this, and they're drawing it. I'm like, fuck, I wish I had this. I wish I had like one of those things, like carpet, right? Not that dirty ass floor with the little black tarantulas rolling all over the place, the tumbleweaves.
Mm-hmm. Tumbleweaves, yeah.
A TV, give me a TV.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would even come out. You would rather just go there. It's rent free.
Yeah. There was one jail. It was, I don't know if you ever got there, Grayson County in Kentucky.
No.
In your cell, you had a TV, you had the little clicker thing, all that. I was only there for a couple days. But like sitting in Alexandria, you were in Alexandria.
Yeah. 3 months
and you were in a unit.
I was in administrative segregation.
Yeah,
so I came out 2 hours a day.
2 hours a day. So I'd come out an hour a day to, like, they'd open my cell, which is smaller than this studio room here, And when they opened my cell, I'd come out into a room the size of the studio. It wasn't outside. It was just an extension of the room. Yeah. So concrete. There's a TV out there. It was, you were cooked. But yeah, I mean, I'll conclude it there. If you guys have any other comments on this.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard at this point to keep defending this monstrosity. I don't know if this was Todd Blanche's doing, but clearly Jocelyn Ballantyne is a nefarious individual who shouldn't be around these cases, because the cases she has been on, it really shows that she works for the fucking deep state and she's their puppet. So it's just ironic that she's got the pipe bomber case, she's got this case, her dirty ass hands were in the fucking J6er cases. I'm really having a hard time trusting that the DOJ is working for Trump at this point.
Yeah. Patty?
Yeah, look, just to respond to that, if the DOJ is not working for Trump, that's Trump's fucking fault. He's been president now. This is his second term. I don't want to hear any more fucking excuses about how, well, he's an outsider, he's not a politician. You've been fucking, this is going on 6 years now of being president. When the fuck did the training wheels come off? It sickens me to hear the fucking excuses constantly, instead of just saying, you know what, maybe we elected a fucking Stunard. You know, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the fucking problem. I always use the analogy of an owner of a football team, right? Mm-hmm. You hire a general manager to run things, and he's supposed to hire the coach and all the other coaches and the fucking everybody who runs the operation. If that guy keeps having to fire and rehire and fire all the people that he's in charge of, maybe he's fucked up. Maybe he sucks at his job and should be fired. In this analogy, the American people are the owners of the team, and Donald Trump is the general manager, and he can't get his shit together. And I would say also, in response to what you said, Enrique, about John Adams, if you want to understand what kind of shit he went through and how much the balls that it took to defend those British soldiers,
he got death
after
threats.
the Boston Massacre.
They tried to kill him.
And absolutely. If you want to understand what that was like, really the first episode of John Adams on HBO, which is an awesome series all the way through, but the first episode deals with that. And you should, if you have HBO and you have a chance to watch it.
Is that the one with him and Abigail? Awesome. It's a story of him and Abigail? Okay.
Yeah. It's Paul Giamatti plays John Adams and he does a great job. It's an awesome thing, but that whole first episode is basically about the push and pull, you know, for because he was for the revolution. I mean, he was his cousin Sam was as mobbed up as you get with the Sons of Liberty, you know. And he had to walk a fine line and defend people because they had a right to be defended, not because he wanted to do it, but because it was the right thing to do. And it's really great.
That's a good example.
Exactly.
And look, I think some of the stories of the founding fathers are exaggerated, right?
Sure.
But like, just in a vacuum, those two things the fact that John Adams went ahead and defended them. That's fact. You can't exaggerate on that.
Absolutely.
You can't. It's not just like a made for HBO thing. He actually did it, right? And then George Washington having that Cincinnatus moment, right, where he was able to be the king of the United States, and he declined it.
Yeah.
And he was able to run for a third term, and he declined it. Like, these are things. These are hard proofs of like, these are real people. Like, I think that these people, most of the revolutionaries were rebels, right? And like, they were like, you know, they were bred in this rebellious, like, fuck you, we're drunks, because the Sons of Liberty were a drinking club, you know?
But a lot of them were just aristocratic rich pricks who, you know, they had the money,
sure,
you know, to have these kind of opinions and whatnot. The Sons of Liberty, as far as that group, they were, you know, lower class.
Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't look. I look at American history and especially the Revolutionary era as, you know, not everything is one way or the other, and you can criticize those guys without demonizing them.
Yeah,
and you can recognize the great things they did without making
no.
sense
And
out of them.
I think it would,
you know,
exactly.
But you're right, the fact
I think it
that
takes
John
away
Adams did what he did is a fact. It's not, you know.
and that's what I'm saying. I think it takes away from them when you give them sainthood. You know,
Yeah. They're
it takes
men,
away from
just
like
like us.
human, like the human element, which makes them even greater than that fabled story about them, which is it is exaggerated. You
Yeah, and
know,
I
read
think
their
that if-
writings.
if
Like
Thomas
Sam Adams
Jefferson-
was a master of propaganda. There wasn't.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
wasn't. Now
absolutely.
we're getting into something else. There wasn't this big push to like be independent from the British, right? There wasn't this big push. And him with the circle letter, he's like, fuck that. Let's get some people riled up.
Thomas Paine's
And I
Common
really
Sense
think that if-
pamphlet really lit a fire in anyone's ass.
Yeah. If Thomas Jefferson were around to hear the way that we've made a saint out of him, I think he would be rolling over in his slave. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think he would appreciate that at all. That's a Bill Maher thing. I can't take credit for it. But seriously, these guys didn't want to be deified. You know what I mean? Even the most egotistical of them, even like John Hancock with his silly signature and whatnot.
Yeah.
They really didn't want to be made saints of. They wanted to create a country. And I think too often we try and deify them, and then too often some people try to make, motherfuckers out of these guys because, they did things that today we would consider inappropriate. So
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap this up because I got some work to do. Barry, plugs.
1776.shop. I'm not even going to name a store. Just go there and check us out. Give some support. Follow at Warboy Studios. And in the next couple months, we're looking ready to grow a little bit. So thank you for all that have been supportive since we got out. Much appreciated.
Warpaint is the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that one.
That's
fun.
That's what Kim says. All right,
Great.
Patty, what's up?
on Wednesday, Pickles and I will be going to Providence.
Are you going to do like
two-
a pizza thing?
We're
course.
doing a pizza thing, and then we're doing a sandwich shop thing. So we're doing two
We're
different
going to do an
restaurants.
Indian restaurant
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys should do that. So we're doing Jeff's on Bedford Street in Providence and D. Palmieri's Party Pizza. So it should be fun. They should be posted probably on Thursday.
All right, cool. Okay, and for me, somebody went up here. Let me scroll through here really quick. A little higher. Sorry, it says Trick 67, which I can't read. I don't know why it doesn't show like their username on here. Barry, what's up with your book? Any pre-orders or anything? And I know Tricks, I know that you purchased my book, but he doesn't have a book, but I have a book.
Mine is coming, so I will let you know.
All right,
when that
so
happens.
mine's in pre-order. It's going through the editor.
It wasn't about you, Enrique.
the editing stage. You could go to tariobook.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that link up because I have it ready.
Barry's in a
tariobook.com.
reading a book stage.
Right here.
Sooner or later, he will finish reading a book.
I'm
before
almost
he starts
done with
writing.
Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss.
tariobook.com. It's my memoir. You'll be able to, there's pre-orders there. There's signed pre-orders. Please go to that website to support me. I'm not trying to make like money off the book. I just want to get my story out. Go in there, buy yourself a book, buy yourself a hardcover. There's shirts, hats, and they're made right here, right in the shop. Thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you for watching the War Boys Studios. I hope tonight that we could get a war stream going, playing some marathon with our co-host here, Reno, and Right Side Rebels in the house, so we might be able to get that rolling. All right, guys. I'm bouncing out. Thank you, guys. I'm out.
Proud of you, boy.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self for shared. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.